Hello everyone, welcome to Tripura exam prep. Today we will discuss about the narration, a complete guide with examples. I hope it is going to be helpful for upcoming Tripura exams. And those who are new to the channel, consider subscribing and join Telegram to get the job notifications and different Tripura competitive exam previous year questions PDF. So now let's move to our today's topic. Before going to depth in the topic, first we try to understand what is narration by its definition. So basically narration is the way we report or convey what someone said, or it is the act of reporting the words. It also helps in storytelling, conversation and formal writing. There is a two way to convey the information, or there are two types of narration. First is direct speech and indirect speech. In direct speech, you can see the examples where we see the quotation part, but in indirect speech, there is no quotation and quotation part is replaced by the that, and here the pronouns are also changed along with tenses. Reporting verb is basically the verb first part of sentence, that is he said, she said, he says, they said, she says, etc. And before the statement of a person in sentence is called a reporting verb. In all the following examples, the reporting verb is said. For example, he said, I work in a factory. So it is a direct speech because quotation is there, and here said is a reporting speech. Said is a reporting speech. In indirect speech, we can say he said that he worked in a factory, and it is the indirect speech. You can also see other example also. Now, the second part of indirect speech, in which something has been told by a person or which is enclosed in quotation mark in direct speech, is called the reported speech. For example, he said that he worked in a factory. So, here in the sentence, the second part, which is he worked in a factory, is called a reported speech. He worked in a factory is called a reported speech. And that is why the indirect speech as a whole can also be called as reported speech. To identify the direct speech, remember that the direct speech repeats the exact words spoken and it is enclosed in quotation mark. You can see here some of the examples. Rahul said, comma, in quotation, I love playing football. You can also say other example also. In the same way, to identify the indirect speech, remember indirect speech does not use exact words or it changes the sentences. It usually begins with that, if or whether. For example, Rahul said that he loved playing football. So here that is there, and you can also see that the changes of pronouns and tenses are also there. Let's see the key differences between the direct and indirect speech quickly. So direct speech uses quotation mark, exact words and no change in tense. But in case of indirect speech, here no quotation marks, changes in pronouns, tense and time expressions. You can see here examples also. In direct sentence or speech, we have he said, comma, in quotation, I am happy. In direct speech, the expression will be he said that he was happy. Here that is there and I become he and am become was. Here the pronoun and tenses also changes. Now what are the key rules for indirect speech? So first is pronoun changes, tense changes, time and place changes and changes of models. So let's see in the brief one by one. So in case of indirect speech, pronouns must change according to the speaker. For example, in direct speech we have she said, comma, in quotation, I like tea. In direct speech, it will become she said that she liked tea. Here, after the reporting verb said, we have used that, and here I become she and like become liked, L-I-K-E-D, liked. So here pronoun and tense both are changes. You can see here other example also. Next is change of tenses in indirect speech. So if the sentence is given in present tense, it will change to past tense. Present simple change to past simple, present continuous changed to past continuous, and present perfect changed to past perfect. For example, in direct speech we have she said, comma, in quotation, I am reading a book. So it is a present continuous tense. So we need to change into past continuous tense. So in direct speech it will become she said that she was reading a book. I become she and am become was to make it past continuous. So tenses are pronouns are changes as per the sentence requirement. Next example, she said, comma, in quotation, I like coffee. So in indirect speech it will become she said that she liked coffee. Change of time and place expressions. Some words change in indirect speech, like now become then, today become that day, yesterday become the previous day, tomorrow become the next day, here become there, and this become that. Please try to remember this point because this slide is very important if you try to understand the examples and application of this term. Let's see some example. In direct speech we have he said, comma, in quotation, I will meet you tomorrow. In indirect speech it will become he said that he would meet me the next day. In the sentence, I changes to he and will changes to would and tomorrow changes to the next day. Let's see the changes in model. Will become would, can become could, may become might, must become had to. For example, she said, comma, in quotation, I will help you. It's given in direct speech because quotation is there. So if we need to change into indirect speech, it will become she said that she would help me. Here the pronoun she is used in place of I and the model will change into would. So we write she said that she would help me. Now let's discuss about the different types of sentences with examples. First we have declarative or assertive sentence. This type of sentence which gives some kind of information either affirmatively or negatively, it is called a assertive sentence. For example, he bought a book. She does not love me. So it is a negative sentence actually. Billa is not a sweet boy. It is a negative sentence. He bought a book. It is give about some information. So these all type of sentence are called assertive or declarative sentence. Assertive sentence also have two types, affirmative sentence and negative sentence. So now we try to understand affirmative sentence. So it is a type of sentence which gives some kind of information about any person or things affirmatively. For example, he bought a book, the sun sets in the west and he was a good boy. Next is negative sentence. So it is a kind of sentence that states something is not true or incorrect. A negative adverb has to be added in order to negate or cancel the validity of the sentence. For example, he is not a sweet boy. Another example, I have not completed my work, and so on. In case of declarative or assertive type of sentence, the rules for direct speech into indirect speech is that inverted commas will be converted into that and the general changes will be as per the rules defined above, that is pronoun changes in pronouns, changes in tense, change in certain words. If an object is given in the reporting speech, following changes will take place. Like if say is given in direct speech, in indirect speech it will become tell, as well as said become told, will say become will tell, shall say become shall tell. And in case of universal truth, in the reported speech section, change in tense will not occur. So this is the examples of assertive sentence where we convert a direct speech into indirect speech by applying the rules and changing the pronouns, tenses and other words. So you can pause the video and try to apply the concept that you have learned in the previous slides and try to understand that how the conversion is happening from direct speech into indirect speech. Next is the interrogative sentence. A sentence that asks a question is called an interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence ends with a question mark and it is very easy to identify because question mark is there. For example, where are you going? Question mark. Do you use your laptop? Question mark. Let's see the rules of direct speech into indirect speech conversion in interrogative type of sentence. So first, inverted commas will be replaced by if or whether. Say and said will be replaced by asked and asked respectively. And in reported speech section, structure will be simplified by placing helping verb after the subject and putting full stop at the end of the sentence. Words like do, does, did will be omitted here. And in case of question words at the start of the reported speech, if or whether will not be used in the place of inverted commas. Okay, and all the general changing will be as per the rule, like change in pronoun, change in tense, change in certain words, etc. This is the some other examples of interrogative sentence where the direct speech is converted into indirect speech. Next sentence is a exclamatory sentence. A sentence that expresses a strong feeling or emotions is called an exclamatory sentence. These sentences express surprise, joy, sorrow, appreciation, love, excitement, frustration, anger, etc. An exclamatory sentence ends with an exclamation mark. For example, what a beautiful flower it is. Exclamation mark is there. How nicely she is singing. That is fantastic. Hurrah. We own the match, and so on. So it is also easy to identify the sentence by just looking at the exclamation mark. Let's see the some rules of direct speech into indirect speech conversion in this type of sentence. So first, in a reported speech section, interjection for happiness will omitted, and in reporting speech section, say, said will be converted into exclaim or exclaimed with joy respectively. Okay, and some interjection for happiness are as follow, yak, yuppie, hurrah, yahoo, etc. and so on. In reported speech section, interjection for sorrow will omit. Reporting speech section, say, said will be converted into exclaim, exclaimed with sorrow respectively, and some interjection for grief or sorrow are as follow, like oh shit, alas, po, oops, etc. and so on. Also in reported speech section, interjections for wonder or surprise will omitted, and in reporting speech section, say, said will be converted into exclaim, exclaimed with wonder respectively, and some interjection for a grief or surprise and wonder are as follow, like what a and how with exclamation mark. Remember, in nutshell, all the interjection will be omitted in the reported speech section and inverted commas will be replaced by that, and all other general changing will be as per the rule, like change in pronouns, change in tense, and change in certain words, etc. This is the example of exclamatory sentence. Next is imperative sentence, and this type of sentence which expresses a request, command or advice is called an imperative sentence. For example, open the door, and it is an order. Please help me, it is a request. So this type of sentence are called imperative sentence. And the rules for direct speech into indirect speech conversion in this type of sentence is inverted commas will be replaced by the followed by first form of verb, and in reporting speech section, say or said will be changed into any other hypernouns according to the requirement of the nature. For example, advised, request, order, and so on. Remember, change in tense will not occur in this sentence. Words like please, kindly are omitted. Let's see some of the example of imperative sentence where direct speech is converted into indirect speech. Next sentence is optative sentence. It expresses the wishes. Optative sentence formed with may or found mainly in a very formal way. In optative sentence, infinitive phrase is used so no change in tense occur. For example, may you live a long and happy life together. Peace be upon him. He prayed me to live along. In all the examples, you can see here the wish or praying something is mentioned. So this type of sentence is called the optative sentence. Rules for converting direct speech into indirect speech in case of optative sentence are: inverted commas will be replaced by that if it is followed by may or might, and in reporting speech section, say or said will be changed into any other hypernym according to the requirement and nature of the reported speech section. You can see here some of the important hypernyms: prayed for, cursed, wished for, so on. Remember, words like good morning, good evening, would that are omitted in this type of sentence. This is some of the examples of optative sentence where direct speech is converted into indirect speech. You can see here. Let's do a quick summary and important key points. So first, narration has two types: direct and indirect speech. Indirect speech changes pronouns, tenses and time expressions. Use that for statement, if, whether, for yes or no questions. Commands and request use to plus but, and exclamations changes to normal statement.